Live from Denver, this is Fox 31 News at 9. We're on it.
Right now, after voting for weeks, Coloradans make their voices heard. Fox 31 tracking the results all night. Right now, the changes we know.
More Coloradans have voted in this election than in any election in our state's history.
We need to be united.
And the outcomes in Washington, everyone's waiting on. We're on it. Who will be the next president of the United States? Here is what we know at this hour, 9 o'clock on election night in the Mile High City. The numbers for president right now, with about 55% of the vote in. These are raw overall vote total numbers. 51% for Donald Trump, 48% for Joe Biden, though the electoral map does not quite look that way. Biden with an electoral lead at this moment. Again, here in Colorado, this is the way the race went down tonight. Already called for Joe Biden with a commanding victory here in the Centennial State tonight.
But of course, what will matter throughout the night is the Electoral College. And you just heard Jeremy allude to that. We see Joe Biden. He is leading right now with 135 electoral votes. President Trump with 108. But the night is still young, and we may not know who is the next president by the end of tonight.
That's true. There are some surprises up there. Arizona looking like it's pretty favorable for Joe Biden right now. Still too close to call in places like Florida and some of those eastern states. And again, the votes could trickle in over the next few days. So lots of questions still to be answered, and we hope to answer some of them over the next hour and a half or so. And here's the man with some of those answers, we hope, Matt Morrow at the big board.
Trying to get them as quickly as everybody else does. People want to know tonight who is going to be the next president of the United States. Will it continue to be Donald Trump? Will it be Joe Biden? And who is going to control the Senate? Let's take a look right now. New results coming in. These just updated from the Associated Press. Not a surprise right here. Of course, California going for Joe Biden. The same with Oregon and Washington. So as it's
that security plan coming up at 10.
Yeah, plus we're monitoring the ballots still being counted at this hour. Many of the races have been called, but election workers are finishing tallying them up. We'll also hear from John Hickenlooper and Senator Cory Gardner following their Senate race. The former governor has beaten Cory Gardner and has given the Democrats another seat in the Senate. Karen Morfitt monitoring the count for us. Brian Moss is at the Operations Center with more on security. Political specialist Sean Boyd has the results and her analysis on this election night, what it means for Colorado. And Kelly Worthman following the ballot questions. CBS 4 News at 10 starts right now.
Are we starting early? Hi, everybody. It is election night in Colorado.
Yeah, and tonight we are taking an in-depth look at election results from the Senate race to the ballot measures. But first, we want to start, of course, with the presidential race. Colorado has gone blue for Biden. Former Vice President Joe Biden earning about 56% of the votes from Coloradans tonight. That is within 81% of the precincts reporting right now. That means Colorado's 9 electoral votes are going to Joe Biden. Right now, he has, you can look up there, 56% of the votes of the necessary 270 votes to win the presidency. Meanwhile, the president trying to see those numbers up there.
I don't think we've got them yet.
But we know it is a tight race, and several big states have yet to be called in tonight, including Florida, Georgia, Wisconsin, and of course, Pennsylvania.
Political specialist Sean Boyd live in the studio tonight with more on the local races. Sean, Colorado going bluer tonight.
Bluest it has been in 80 years, Jim, with John Hickenlooper winning the Senate race. The only statewide office that Republicans still hold is a CU Regent seat. While Hickenlooper's campaign was lackluster, Trump's unpopularity here and Hickenlooper's popularity as governor carried him to victory. The polls got it right in this race. Hickenlooper is leading by 11 points, and while his party has moved further left,
Colorado turns a deeper shade of blue as Democrats win key races by wide margins tonight. Joe Biden easily wins Colorado's electoral votes, while Republican Senator Cory Gardner is defeated by what looks like a double-digit margin. When it comes to fiscal issues on the ballot, Coloradans continue to show a conservative streak, even as they put an increasing number of progressive politicians in office.
We're going to show you the latest results and break down all of what this means for our state. We also want to check in with our politics guy, Marshall Zellinger, in a moment. First, though, let's take a look at the presidential results in Colorado.
This is for Colorado's 9 electoral votes. A 15-point margin for Joe Biden would be the largest margin for any Democrat for president in Colorado since 1964, when LBJ defeated Barry Goldwater. As for where this leaves the presidential race, right now on the national picture, Biden has secured 192 electoral votes to President Trump's 114, obviously too close to call, with the battlegrounds of Florida and Georgia and Arizona, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and the upper Midwest still too close to call. Let's bring in Marshall Zellinger now to look at some of the other results. Marshall.
Certainly not too close to call in Colorado, where Joe Biden leads by 15 points. Compare that to 2016, when Hillary Clinton only won by 5 points. What I want you to look at on this map, watch the red areas on the western slope and the blue areas in central.
The nation has spoken. Following contentious campaigns, votes are in. Joe Biden will take the state of Colorado.
Results are pouring into the newsroom as we speak, and Denver 7 is breaking all the numbers and races down 360 style.
The voter turnout has been fantastic.
Millions of Coloradans casting ballots and unprecedented voter turnout across the nation.
Plus, all eyes on the races that could determine control of the U.S. Senate.
I've always believed it's my job to represent all Colorado.
A look at those swing states. Who is taking the lead at this hour?
Plus, up-to-the-minute results on the topics that matter to Coloradans: abortion, paid family medical leave, the Gallagher Amendment, where we stand on those hot-button issues.
We have live team coverage on this special edition of Denver 7 News at 10. Election Night 2020 starts right now.
And settle in, everybody. It's going to be a long night, because we start with the latest results on our presidential race. And as you look at the numbers right now, very tight. And Joe Biden with 50% to Donald Trump's 49%. But I apologize. I think we were supposed to be seeing the national numbers right now, and we'll keep watching here.
So remember, the candidate needs 270 electoral votes to win the presidency, and there is a good chance, I think a really, really good chance, we're not going to know who wins the White House tonight. And more people than ever are voting by mail this year, and well, in part, that's part of the problem. It can take longer to count. Now, on the road up to 270 electoral votes, as we go on the air right now, I believe Joe Biden had 209 electoral votes. Can we go back to that? He leads it right now. There it is, to 118 for Donald Trump. Again, the magic number 270, and I don't know that we're going to know who achieves that tonight.
Exactly. But again, as you well know, the race has been called here in Colorado, and Joe Biden takes the Centennial State. That much we know right now, so we will move on, because we have so many races to get to tonight. We're also watching the numbers in the battleground states, states that typically lean one way, but then could be a surprise in this presidential election.
All right, we're going to start in Pennsylvania. The state is key both for Biden and for Trump.
This is Colorado's own Channel 2 News at 11. We're on it.
We feel good about where we are. We really do. I'm here to tell you tonight, we believe we're on track to win this election. Yes. We knew, because of the unprecedented early vote and the mail-in vote, that it was going to take a while. We're going to have to be patient until the hard work of tallying the votes is finished. And it ain't over till every vote is counted. Every ballot is counted. But we're feeling good. We're feeling good about where we are.
And that was the former vice president just moments ago speaking to his supporters that a race for president still up in the air tonight. Meantime, President Trump tweeting during Biden's speech saying, quote, "We are up big, but they are trying to steal the election. We will never let them do it. Votes cannot be cast after the polls are closed." With that, a very busy election day. Thanks for joining us here. I'm Kagan Harsha. A lot of developments to get to today, impacting every corner of Colorado, but we want to start with the latest picture on that presidential race. Here are the Colorado results by Biden winning big here in Colorado by a 15-point margin, 56% to Joe Biden, 41% to President Trump here. Matt Morrow has been tracking all of this for us all evening long. He has the latest now on how this is all developing outside of Colorado nationally. Matt?
Okay, Kagan, before we get to all of these results, let's touch on a couple things that the president just talked about in that tweet right there. There is no one voting after Election Day. No one is casting a ballot after the polls have closed. What he is talking about potentially here is Pennsylvania, where the